Let's talk about rabies. It's a viral illness with an almost 100% case fatality rate caused by the rabies virus. The disease is transmitted through the bite or scratch from an infected animal, usually dogs, although wild animals such as cats, monkeys, foxes, bats, others are all at risk. The virus attacks the central nervous system, targeting the brain and the spinal cord, and if untreated early can be fatal. Rabies is present on all continents except Antarctica, with majority of the human infections occurring in Asia and Africa. Children are especially vulnerable since they may not report scratches or bites. In Ghana, cases of rabies increased from 44 recorded in 2016 to 78 in 2017, making it the second highest number since 2014, which had 82 cases. 95% of the estimated 55,000 rabies cases recorded occurred in Africa and Asia. Rabies is a viral illness with an almost 100% case fatality rate caused by the rabies virus. They have had to be very careful. We'll be talking about rabies a bit more after this.
Every 10 minutes, a life is lost to rabies.
It did not only bite my son, it bit 6 others. But my son was the only one who was sent to the hospital and the only one who died.
Rabies affects the rural poor and marginalized populations and kills tens of thousands of people each year.
Currently in the world, about 70,000 people die out of rabies every year.
Treatment for those bitten can cost 40 days of wages in some countries.
It's quite expensive. How many patients are willing to buy a drug for 250 Ghana cedis?
The solution to this sounds very simple.
The solution is these dogs, these cats, there should be a policy to vaccinate, systematically vaccinate all dogs and sensitize communities who have dogs that are stray.
My name is Seth Kwame Boatin, and today on Hotline, I will be telling you how so many lives are being lost to a preventable disease such as rabies, and how the seeming negligence on the part of the authorities is spawning the problem. I will also be telling you how you can prevent your dog or cat, which may be your best friend, from becoming your worst enemy. Dogs are humans' best friend. Some even regard them as family members, deserving to be treasured, cared for, and loved. Dogs have what some animal experts say is an unconditional love and friendship that many people cannot get from other humans. They are very loyal and trustworthy. It is the reason 25-year-old Stephen Boachiadom cannot go through his entire day without spending time with his dogs.
I love them because they have this soul. I think they are the only pet or the only animal that have a bit of soul, and they show some unconditional love. Because I remember once I came to the house, after school, when I came to the house, I was very sad, very down. But immediately they saw me. They brought a bit of joy into my heart. So at that moment, I just forgot about everything.
Well, like I said, we'll be having a short conversation on this. I have two doctors in the studio right now. They are Dr. Richard Sulri, he's chairman of Rabies in West Africa, Ghana. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I also have here in the studio Dr. Emily Mudoga. She's an animal campaign manager for Africa for World Animal Protection. You're welcome, Dr.
Thank you.
Mudoga. I hope that I got the names right.
You did.
Sure and Mudoga, correct?
It's
okay.
Suire.
Suire.
That I is supposed to be E, but the white man made it I. So
Very well.
Suire.
So, rabies. We just, had a quick intro, and we just played that documentary that my colleague did a while back. It's something that we used to hear when we were growing up. I really never saw a real manifestation of someone who's been infected by rabies, but I hear in human beings it can be it makes you behave like a dog. Explain to us a bit more if I'm not right.
Okay, rabies is a viral disease that is transmitted to humans through dogs. And if you're anybody who was born in the 70s or 80s, you're right that you did not see it, because until around the mid-80s, most countries in Africa had it under control, because most of the countries in Africa, veterinary services were under government. But around that time, then there was the SAPS, which was the adjustment programs that World Bank brought. So veterinary services in Africa were reduced, and one of the departments was the veterinary department and dog vaccination. So now there was a resurgence, it was almost done. The only thing is, as I said, most times you will not get to see a human being. Is rabies has symptoms in human beings can be mistaken for several forms of meningitis and cerebral malaria. And if you're in the more rural areas, it can be said madness or witchcraft.
Wow. Wow. So what are the symptoms? What are the signs for you to tell that someone has been someone has rabies, for example?
Yeah, I think that is what she had just said.
She's just spoken about how people can say it's witchcraft or evil spirit or whatever it is. But can you take us through the symptoms, the clear symptoms that you get to see if someone is infected?
It starts with a cold. So it starts with a cold and graduates, because the virus infects you. It grows within the site of infection. Okay. And then it gradually gets into your nervous system, into your spinal cord, and gets into the brain. So in the brain, it then disconnects. So you start behaving like a crazy person.
Okay. So what do you do, Dr. Emily? What do you do to someone if you have a child or you have anybody who has been infected? What are the immediate steps to take? So now the immediate steps should be taken even before infection, because unfortunately, even if rabies is 100% preventable, it's also 100% fatal. So now once a person is bitten, they should go immediately to get the treatment and vaccination to prevent it. Because if you wait until you get the symptoms, by that time the infection has infected the brain and the person is going to die. So there's no reverse for the symptoms. And as Dr. Surya was saying, some of the symptoms you might see usually starts with a fever. Then all of a sudden a person starts becoming agitated. It's like they're confused. They don't know what is happening. Some other people see their own things. It comes to a point where some people can now actually get physically rough and aggressive. They want to bite anything. But the question is what people do not understand. Rabies as a virus, what it does is it increases all your 5 senses to 100%. Oh, wow. So you have hearing, sight, touch, taste, all at 100%. And usually on a normal day life, when it becomes too much, your brain has a way of switching it off. But that's a lock-off mechanism cannot happen. So what you're seeing is somebody so frustrated that it's almost like driving them mad. So when a person reaches that point, many a times in hospitals or at homes, they have to be locked down, and then they have to be kept in the dark, sound put off, because what usually happens is that you have to switch off all the things that are stimulating the senses to give that person a calm. But many a times when you go to hospitals, what is recommended is that the person is put in a coma until they die. Another main symptoms they say, the person sounds as if they're barking like a dog, but what it does is when it starts manifesting, it paralyzes your muscles that allow you to swallow. That's why they say people are scared of water. It's not you're scared of water, but they cannot swallow. And you're at a point where you have such intense thirst that it burns, and you try to drink, and that's why people go away from water. Second, it paralyzes the vocal cords. So it sounds as if somebody's barking, but actually they're trying to speak, but they can't. Yes. So that's why it's called mad dog syndrome, because they say people have hydrophobia and people bark, but it's not actually barking. Wow. Anything else? You wanted to ask something, Dr.
No, she has added it, so it's fine.
All right, so is there anything that we're doing? You know, you talk about the preventive measures, but if you don't, does it mean that if you don't have dogs around, you should be okay? Is there anything else that
I don't think it's not having dogs
Is there
around.
anything else that can affect somebody or that can give rabies apart from dogs?
Yeah, all warm-blooded animals can give rabies. But the issue is that dog, 95% or more, we even say 99% of rabies in human is gotten from dog, our best friend. Yes.
All right. So
that's why our focus is on the dog, because we know if you remove that 95% from the dog, then we are safe.
All right. So is there anything that's been done, globally to get this awareness? Because there are lots of things you've said that even though I had heard about rabies, I didn't really know about.
So now in 2015, the One Health Association, which is made up of World Health Association, FAO, and OIE, which is the animal side of WHO, World Health Organization, came together and developed a global strategy. So as of 2015, and it was finalized last year, there's a global strategy to eliminate dog-mediated human rabies by 2030. Okay. At the African Union, they have also taken strides to that point, and I think next year it will become part of the African Union process for all countries in Africa to meet that target.
Do you envisage that this is the way to go?
Yes, it is.
Well, it's the way.
Yes, you cannot explain, because 50% of the cases are children below the age of 15. That is a loss. That is a future generation of people who are going to come in industry and build the country. Why are we losing them? And this is one of the easiest diseases to stop. Once you stop the cycle in the dog, then it stops circulating in wildlife or other animals, and then humans don't get. So, because people don't understand, rabies is beyond the human dying. In the areas where you have livestock, one dog biting five cows and they get the disease, what have you done to the economic situation of that family? You see, even in the agricultural areas, if now the breadwinner dies, what have you done in that area? If it goes into the wildlife, you could be bringing some species to a point of endangerment. So you see, and all we have to do is just vaccinate the dog and get rid of it in the dog, and it will have so many.
I see. Wow. Interesting conversation. I guess that we'll have to talk more about this, create a lot more awareness, and get people to be careful about this. Dr. Surire, you have some final words to add to what we've said.
Yeah, I think we are locally. As she indicated, we started having a problem of low vaccination from 1994. And since 1994 up to today, rabies has not been taken as a serious issue. So REWA, Rabies in West Africa, is a voluntary organization who have decided to sensitize both policymakers, Ghanaians, as to their responsibility to their dogs. So we are saying that every year you should at least go to the vet and vaccinate your dog against rabies once in a year. It's not much, isn't it, to save human life? So that is what we are calling for, and we hope people will listen to us. Okay. We are launching this year World Rabies Day, which normally comes September 28th. Every year we are launching it in Odumase, in the Brown Half region. Okay. Or you now call it Brown region, or Bono region. Okay,
so September 28th in Odumase, you're launching a campaign to get people to have their dogs.
Every year we launch it in some particular area. Last year we launched it in Ehi, and you remember last year around this time we had that serious dog bites of so many people. This year we have moved it to Odumase. Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, so they're calling for everybody to go and vaccinate their dogs and get them away from rabies, because as you've heard Dr. Emily talk about rabies, it sounds really mind-boggling, and it looks like the fatality rate is really, really high. We need to be very careful about it. Having this conversation with Dr. Richard Surire, chairman of the Rabies in West Africa, Ghana, and also Dr. Emily Muduga, is an animal campaigner as well. Thank you very much for coming to the two doctors.
Thank you for having us.
So get your dogs vaccinated. Do not attract rabies, because the effect on human beings is certainly fatal.